this tutorial in DaVinci Resolve, we're going to show you how to put a colored object, either single color or multicolor, into your project. I'm going to stop the play of this. What we have is a video with a text on top, and I like the text, but I'd like to see what it looks like if I put a background behind it that's either a solid color or multicolor. Let's take the text and we're going to move it up a track to video track number 3. And now we'll move our playhead back to the beginning, and we're going to insert, first of all, a color background. To find it, I go to my effects library, and then I click on my toolbox option. And in the toolbox, I open up the subcategory called generators. Now we're going to take a solid color, and when I hover over it, you notice it's black. That's the default color. I'll take and drag that and drop that on my track number 2. So it's above my video, but underneath my title. You notice it obscures the video because the default size is full screen. We'll change that in a moment. So we need to go to our inspector on the upper right corner to make some changes here. Make sure we're clicked on our new solid color. And what I want to do first of all is I want to crop it. So I prefer to drag across the numbers. I think it's more precise. So we'll come in from the left, and we'll come in from the right. We'll come up from the bottom, and then we'll come down from the top. Now the color's a little intense, being black. It might be the one I want to use. I'll go back to generator, where the only option we have is color. I'll click on color, and let's just pick a lighter blue and click on OK. So that's a very easy way to customize a box that you want to put behind a title or something you want to use in front of a screen. Let me show you a couple of other options you might find helpful. Sometimes we like to soften the edge of it, and if I do that, I take the softness quality under cropping, and I can make it a little more fuzzy around the edges if I like that better. Now the default is not the other way. The default is 0. To reset the tool, you just click on the reverse circle on the right and it'll set it back to the default. So we could soften it if we want. We can also change the opacity. If I drag down a bit, I have an opacity value. And again, I can either use a slider or drag across the numbers. I can make it just a little bit transparent. So those are the ways in which I can modify the solid color using it as a background to text in DaVinci Resolve. Let's look at another option we have. Another one we have is a 4-color gradient. I'm going to take that and drag it down. And once again, we have our options. Let's go back to our generator tab on the right side, and I have to make sure I'm clicking on the right tool here. We have a center control, and we have 4 colors. Let's take the upper left color and let's make it a shade of blue. Let's take this one here. I'll click on OK. And in this case, let's take the lower left color, and I want to make it the same blue, so I'm going to click on Pick Screen Color, and then I'll click on my other one, and that way they're the same. When you hover over it, you're going to see the RGB values, 3867,193, and this one should be 3867,193. That's an easy way to get them similar. I can use it with 4 colors, or if I want to make it a 2-color gradient, I can take the color in the upper right and match it to the lower right. Let's take the lower right as my default. I like that one, so let's change the upper right. We'll go Pick Screen Color. We'll click on the lower right color, and now I'll click on OK. And now I have a 2-color gradient. Here's where I can move my center X to change the darkness of it. Little more deep blue, little less deep blue. So you can adjust it accordingly. You can also modify the center Y. Again, when we go to settings, we're going to change some things. Well, let's crop it from the left, and we'll crop it from the right, and from the bottom again, and from the top. And then again, we can also modify the opacity if we want, or we can do the softness to blur it just a little bit if we prefer. So those are some ways in which you can either make this a 2-color gradient or a 4-color gradient, or in which you can use a solid color in order to enhance your project in DaVinci Resolve.